Hello and welcome to my channel. I am just starting off as a gamer. I'm hoping to get a little far in my YouTube channel. And today we are going to be going over a sweet and awesome package I got in the mail that I was really excited for. Not only because it's for VR, but because it was for this type of VR headset in particular, which has little to no accessories. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we got this box. It's a really good box. I know that I'm trying to review the product, but I think one of the most important things when it comes to products is the box, because if the box is not secure, then your product's not secure. It's going to get lost or it's going to break. I've had times where I've ordered something and there's just a giant hole in the whole box. So, and then my figure was smashed. I was a little sad about it. But anyway, that's why I feel like when it comes to who you order from, that the package is super important, the packaging. And it is so well put in. Obviously, I've opened it because it's a little so flimsy, but when I say it was tight, I mean it was tight. I had to get a box cutter to take off the tape. So it's a really nice secure package. The guy knows what he does. Alright, so when opening the package, you have the controllers, which again, when it comes to packaging, this is a really nice bubble wrap. It's wrapped really tight. It's pretty much rolled like 3 times. It's great. Something I was really happy about is it comes with instructions, and it also comes with the little product picture. So Beat Saber, Samsung Odyssey, BN01. BN01 is the controller type. So if you have like a Samsung Odyssey Plus, you just take this off, and then right in there, you can't see it, but it'll be right there, and it'll say BN01, and that's the controller you want. So that's nice. No back. Hooray for papers. The instructions are really awesome in the fact that you get 2 different options of how you want to put the controller on. I mean the hilt on the controller. That being said, let's open this bag up first before we continue talking about the instructions. Hooray for instructions. So, right here, we have our, again, really big bag. Right here, we have our controllers. So here's the blue one. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's got some really good detail on it. It's really well 3D printed. Obviously, you got your little strap here. You got the strap that's going to go on the controller. Got your grip. And then right there, which I really love about these, is that it has an R on there, and the other one has an L on there to signify which side these need to go on. These are little clips. These are one of the alternate ways of putting these hilts on your controller. I highly recommend going this route more than the other, and I'll show you why. So going to the instructions, and we'll just be working on the right side here, so we'll put the left off to the side. So we got a right controller. What I like about this is that there's a little hole right here, so you just stick this strap through. So if you have small hands, you can still wear it. If you have larger hands, this is what this is meant for. So, the instructions. So, the first phase is the phase that I'm kind of indifferent about. I don't personally like using it, but it's a way, if you feel comfortable about it, go right on ahead. But how you do the first version is you take this strap here, and you just wrap it along here. And what's really great is there's this little indent, there's all these indents in it, and this actually rides along that indent really nicely. You take your controller and you just let the strap in first, like so, and then you basically connect this. I'm sorry if you can't see like the whole picture. It's it's a semi big hilt. It's nothing too excessive, but anyway, getting to the part I'm not too thrilled about is getting, so you need to get this strap all the way over this, and the reason why I don't like this version is because you gotta basically, okay, I wasn't struggling this much with it last time. You gotta force it over everything, and I'm just too scared that I'm going to bust this thumbstick off. So, I mean, it's a way to do it. I've tried doing it that way. I'm a paranoid guy, so I prefer not to do it that way. My favorite route, though, is, so we'll do the exact same thing, except this time you'll leave the bungee out. So you'll feed the rope through, and you'll just push in your controller until it's nice and firm. You might even get a little click. That's what I get. What I really like about these hilts, by the way, before I forget to mention, is that it's so tight around it that it'll actually pull your casing, your battery casing off, which is a good thing because you're still able to take it out super easily, but it still has a strong enough grip to where it's pulling it off. And by the way, you don't need to worry about scratching, because as you can see on the controller, it does not have any scratches to be known. I really like this hilt. But anyway, so we'll feed it through like so. There we go. And this hilt actually gives you a pretty good, still a really good firm grip on everything. What I really enjoy about these hilts is that he also designed it to where he cut this out basically, and you can just wrap your hand around it and still click it when you need to. I mean, you still have access to everything. You are going to have to keep sliding your hand up and down. But anyway, we'll get to the more important part. Sorry, that was my cat. But anyway, so if you'll notice, you have this little slot here, and you have this little bead here. What you want to do is take the bungee, put it around that little nub right there, and you're going to just pull it up. It's really hard to show on camera. Something to avoid is the thumbstick. As usual, you don't want to snap that off. And what I find easiest is kind of just positioning it with one hand and then grabbing it with the other. As you can see, I now have it like that. What you'll do is you just push with your thumb until it's like that, where this is just right outside of that, and then you just click it in. And now your controller isn't gonna go anywhere. And I like this method a lot better because it adds that extra accent around it, which I do like, and you still have access to your button there. You do have to kind of go over the bungee though, but I mean, there's not much you could really do about that anyway. I mean, that's just, I mean, that would just be fishing for a complaint. Like, this is so secure. I have I just really love it. But continuing on, man, I am in love with this controller. I mean, with this hilt, I mean, obviously I love the controller, but I love the hilt so much. My biggest concern was I was worried that it was going to be kind of top heavy, but with how this is, it's made to where the weight is distributed all across, to where it's not even top heavy. It just feels like I'm holding the just a longer version of my controller. There's no, it's feeling like a hammer or anything. And I've used other hilts that were actually name brand and on other controllers from my friends, but they always kind of felt a little, again, a little top heavy. So I really love this for the fact that my arms do not get as tired as fast. But to be noted, your arms will get tired because you are playing Beat Saber a little bit different. You do have to get more accustomed to the controller a bit more. But, I mean, that's just, again, that's just kind of fishing for a complaint. I mean, this goes beyond what I was expecting from this. Again, you have the two options. You can either put your hand through this strap. For me, it's a little large. So what I like to do is I like to take this one, and there we go. And it's perfect. And I can still reach here. I do have to kind of get my hand up there with a little bit more effort, but it's not like the end of the world. I can still slide up pretty easily. By the way, this is just a prototype version. There will be future versions of this at some point. That being said, there is just one thing that I've noticed. Because again, it's a prototype, so there is just going to be like one or two things. The grip is really good for my hand. It's perfect. My hand is kind of, it's not the smallest hand, but it's not the biggest hand either. It's basically like your average Joe hand. I did have my friend play this, and her hand actually was grabbing onto the bumps because her hands are a little smaller, so they were not matching up with this. So that's my one critique, maybe having like two versions of this handle, one for smaller hands and one for bigger hands. I mean, but again, that's my one complaint while holding this. This feels really good. It makes me just want to play with it without even Beat Saber. It makes me feel like I'm holding a toy lightsaber. I really love it. I love how the bungee cord is integrated. It just looks like it's part of the design. Same with this. I like it. I will say, maybe if this wasn't like a bungee cord, like another elastic band, just to kind of like match up with the rest of the design. The bungee cord here is perfect, but if we're just using this for a wrist strap, I would recommend probably just maybe changing that, in my personal opinion. When I wear it, my wrists kind of rub up against it in a way that kind of hurts. I mean, it's not the worst thing. It's a strap. Your controller won't fly. But, again, not just small critique. I really, honestly do love this overall design. For me, this is perfect. This strap, like, my hand still fits through the strap. My hand fits perfectly in the hilt. The weight is distributed really well. I'm not scared that my controller is going to just fly off of the hilt. I love it. And the right side is the exact same thing. You just take your controller, you feed the strap through, position that, grab this, and just kind of tinker with it. And This one you do kind of have to push in a little bit more. It does line up with the other one. You do have to kind of tinker with the left side a little bit more. I don't think the sizing's too bad on the hilt. It should be the exact same. But, I mean, that's, again, small critiques. I don't have too much against these. This is really hard to do on camera, by the way. Okay, there we go. Alright, and then you just, again, click it on, and you got yourself your other controller. It's not going to fly anywhere. It's perfect. Something to kind of keep note of with these is you no longer truly feel these. So if you are playing Beat Saber with these, just be careful when you cross, because if you cross too hard and you smack these against them a certain way, your sensors are going to snap, and that will not be fun because you'll have to order new controllers. Not expensive, but something to just kind of look out for when you use Hilts, and that's for any VR. The instructions do say to avoid the thumbstick every time. Like, it does have cautions when you're pushing on the clip. Make sure to like put pressure on it, and it's the exact same thing. So when you want to take these off, you're going to apply pressure on this little nub here, and you're going to hear a click. You then want to take your other hand and just kind of hold it to relieve pressure, and then you're just going to work it around, take it off, and then slide that out again. And again, your battery pack's going to come out, but I mean, that's the trade-off for if you want a nice secure hilt. If you truly wanted to display these, which I honestly want to, just because of the design of it, like just having that R on there. I don't know if y'all can see that too well. There we go. But what I like to do is I like to wrap this around, and I'll put it into like one of the slots here. I'll take this strap and I'll basically bungee it over to where it's just kind of going over that, and then you can just do that. And the exact same thing, you just put pressure on this again till it clicks, you pull it over, and again, watch out for your thumbstick, it will snag your stick. Oh shoot. Again, battery pack. I'll be real, I played with these for a little while, and I gotta say, really love how these turned out. Yeah, I mean, these are fantastic. And again, you can display them in your VR setup, in your gaming setup, anywhere. I'm still trying to find a home for them, because I got a lot of gaming accessories and all that fun stuff. So it's a little bit more difficult for me to find a spot, just because I have a lot of collectibles, but my goal is to find a home for these, because I mean, it would be a waste to just keep boxing them up. And just for like a little size comparison, that's about how tall those are in comparison to the controller. So they are basically the size of the controller, just maybe an inch taller, inch or two taller. No, just an inch taller. These are just, yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and switch to testing these out. Welcome to Yeet Saber. I like using these swords a lot, especially with these hilts, because it makes it feel like I'm actually holding these swords as I go. So yeah, with these, again, there's basically no top heaviness to it, so it swings pretty good. It feels like I'm holding and again, an extension of the controller. It's enjoyable. The straps are perfect, perfectly leveled out. without further ado, let's get this started. Alright. I also super enjoy that it just feels like I'm holding these swords, and it's fantastic. It adds on to that VR experience, I feel like. It does get some getting used to because you have to react a lot sooner, because again, it's extending your controllers a little bit further, which I don't have the biggest space ever for VR, but even with this little extension, I'm still able to freely swing how I want to / need to swing. Yeah, no, I truly and utterly love these controller hilts. Every time I play Beat Saber, I generally like to wear these. It takes a while to kind of get worn out by them, so I do sometimes take the hilt off. But like I said earlier, it just adds on to that like experience. I just want to swing around. I just really want to go in here and just swing these around, you know, like a kid, because it just feels like I'm actually holding them. But yeah, and those are my thoughts on the Beat Saber hilts. Again, I cannot express how great those were. The guy I bought them off of, he had beautiful communication. If I had a question, he had the answer. Kept in communication with me during the process of getting those finished and sent out. The package was amazing. Nothing colorful, but that's not what mattered. What mattered was it was a heavily compact box, so I wasn't worried about something smacking into it and then breaking it. That was something that was really great to think about. And the quality of the hilts, they were 3D printed, and it just feels so great. I really love using them. Again, the only cons on it were the bungees just being a little rough, maybe switching those out for a different kind of strap on the hilts, and making a different size for the hilts. So like one for small hands, a set for small hands, and a set for, you know, bigger hands like mine. Which that set's perfect for me because they work with my hands. But we have more. So if you are interested in VR products and VR accessories, I highly recommend this guy. This is his website, Bebop33.com. He has a YouTube. He has a Facebook. This website basically just talks about what he does. So he is an inventor and currently designing a bunch of different things for VR. That's basically the price for what you would pay for stuff for like Rift S and Quest hilts. If these hilts are anything like the hilts that I just used, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get these hilts for your Oculus Rift S and Quest, because the pair I got are really great, and this pair actually comes with foam on the handles, so I highly recommend them because they're probably pretty comfy. You got a link to an Oculus website, you got a link to his eBay, and on his eBay he's got different kinds of things for sale, one of which is a VR USB switch, which basically will turn off your headset. It'll turn off the power so that you don't have to constantly unplug your headset, which is really nice because that's what I have to do. I always have to unplug my headset, so that switch is really awesome in the fact that I don't have to do anything. But again, this is his whole eBay page. He sells games, he sells VR accessories. His Facebook is right there, Oculus. And then you have like a little code that you can scan there. If you are interested in scanning that, you are fully encouraged to scan it. If you want to get into contact with him, you just click on this and you are given this form. Again, here's some hilts that he has made. This site is still a work in progress. Yeah, I can't stress enough. Definitely check his website out. Probably the best seller that I've ever had communication with, which I find very important when you're ordering stuff. It's definitely go for it. Definitely worth the price. My hilts are still in trial runs, so they are not yet for sale. But for those who have the Samsung Odyssey Plus, I will say he is working diligently on making accessories for our type of headset. And yeah, that basically completes this review. I hope you enjoyed. Please hit that like button. Please leave a comment, a question. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. My Twitter is up. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed.